Why are you doing that?
I'm so excited. Yay!
Okay. Ken, you're introducing yourself.
Why? Well, okay, so should we say what the podcast is?
For the next 3.
Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to Fuck Wellness. I'm Makena.
I'm Mallory.
And I'm Lara.
Just kidding, that was a joke.
Should we tell them about our day and why we're a bit crazy?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Mallory,
Let's get into it.
Take it away.
Well, I am recording to you live from, I was about to say your address, and I'm really glad I did.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
That's it. Mail us letters.
Okay, you can see we're a bit off our rockers today, and that is because we spent 8 hours looking at wedding venues today,
Yeah.
and we're a little tired.
Yeah. And I had to get some food or I was going to be a real bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But clearly we're doing fine now. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm all good, you guys. I'm not tired.
We did not wake Lara up from a nap to do this podcast or anything.
Nothing like that.
Okay. So we have our next 3 pods are hot seats with each of us, like individual hot seats, because we thought it was about time to reintroduce ourselves to the listeners
As 3 hotties.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I do feel like we need to acknowledge in one of these videos, we're taking 2 right now. One of them you can see our shades. And they look horrible.
No.
But
they
you know
look
what?
Good.
When you live in a house that doesn't have AC, you can talk to us.
Yeah.
And until then, shut your pretty little mouth.
Shut your mouth.
Oh my god. Okay.
Should we get into some deep things?
Well, I think that we should start by, our first one's gonna be McKenna. McKenna Sherwood.
The hottest of us all.
The woman today doesn't think so.
Yeah.
Because she was winking at Lara quite a bit.
Yes.
Wink.
All right.
Oh, wow. I thought that was Douglas, that noise that came out of your mouth just now.
Hi, Douglas.
What?
Wow.
I need you to settle.
Okay.
Settling. Okay, wait.
That's literally
This is a funny story. Okay, so we were touring this
Oh my god.
middle wedding venue.
Middle?
Like of the 3, it was the second.
Obviously, people know what I'm saying when I say middle.
Yeah.
And I was just like really kind of frustrated with the fact that this one tour person was very like, okay, so like you're a woman, so you get ready here, and then all the gentlemen have to get ready over here, and it was so
You
like
can walk up the aisle and meet your gentleman.
Yeah.
There.
and then like you're obviously the bride, so you would walk here, and I was just like, yes, like that's maybe something most people assume when you're like, I'm getting married to someone, but like why?
But like Ryan wasn't here,
Right,
so
Ryan
this
wasn't
person had
here.
no idea.
Right.
Yeah, I should have really said one of you were my partner.
Well, here was my thinking. So in my mind, I was like, this sucks. Why is this person being so presumptive? So then I take McKenna's hand and I kiss McKenna's hand because I wanted, there to be like a little element
my
of like
gay couple that I brought with me.
of like gay people exist.
Yeah.
And then we were laughing, and then Mallory looked backwards at us, and I was like,
Oh,
we're in
that
trouble.
Is that when you guys were giggling behind me?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
you should have just brought a little pride flag and just waved it the whole tour.
I was like,
I mean, it was a little ridiculous.
I really wanted to just kind of be like, yeah, we are.
Wait, I think we need to tell the ultimate story about this tour, though.
You're right.
You can go for it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the person giving us the tour was not apparently like the standard person that gives the wedding tours, and this was she told us many times her second tour. She was new to this.
Yeah.
And so the person who was supposed to be like giving the tour was on vacation. So the woman giving the tour told us like, oh, the woman who usually does it is like very experienced, like has been doing this for a long time, like is pitching us her. And then she goes, yeah, she is a bit on the older side.
She's pretty old.
Yeah,
Well,
she's
maybe
pretty
she
old.
felt bad for saying that, you know, and that's why she followed it up with the next comment.
Yeah, so she said, oh, she's pretty old. But that's not when she said the website thing.
No, she basically was like, but she's a nice looking lady. Right?
She was like, she's a good looking lady. Don't worry. And it was like, and it, like some people care about that kind of stuff. And we were all kind of like awkwardly laughing, like, what?
And then she was like, I feel safe saying that in a group of attractive people.
Well, no,
And then winked
said
at Lara.
Only.
She literally said, no, she used the word ugly. She said she's not ugly.
Oh, yeah.
She literally
said it so seriously, like, she's not ugly.
Yeah, you can
Don't
look her
worry.
picture up on the website.
If you don't believe me.
Yeah. Anyway, it was like quite a wild experience. And we all like were like, did she just say that?
I was kind of like, did you mean to? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it was quite an odd tour. Needless to say, I will not be getting married there.
But I will.
Yeah, plot twist.
But we will.
Because gay people like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, McKenna.
Where are our questions?
I have questions.
Okay, but are we starting with like any of the
Well,
ones that
first
we
I think you
prepped?
should give a little bit of a life story.
Whoa.
From the beginning?
Yeah, like obviously you don't have to like get, but I think like there might be people who don't know really anything about you. Like where are you from? Like
Okay.
what's your trajectory looked like?
Okay.
I don't know. I think just like some general like life things would be helpful.
Okay, great. I wasn't prepped for a life bio, so I'm just gonna wing it.
Wait, no, get in the frame.
Let's see. Born in Davis, California. Hell yeah. And child of divorced parents.
I mean, cheers to that.
Yeah. I don't know, not much to say like in terms of childhood, I guess. Like grew up in Davis, played a lot of sports, chose volleyball as my main sport, played competitive volleyball through high school, and then I quit volleyball. And then I had kind of a non-traditional college experience where I was simultaneously working for most of it. I was a personal assistant for a professional athlete. And then shortly after I graduated, well, actually right after I graduated college, then I went to Spain and I walked across Spain and then came back. We're rapid firing here. Like, let's hit everything. And I worked in a biker bar for a few months. That was really fun. And then I got a job working, doing another PA job for a politician in California. Personal assistant. Yeah. In California, and then worked for there for a while. Right before the pandemic, I quit that job and was just coaching volleyball for a little while. And then the pandemic happened, and a few months into the pandemic, 3 months or so, I moved to Boulder, Colorado. And then, yeah, right around that time, forgot the biggest thing, actually.
Yeah, I was like, oh, when is she going to get to that?
Right around that time I was working for the politician is when I started having like what most people would call like a spiritual awakening, I guess. And that's when I started being mentored to give readings. And that whole thing started 2017, because we were on our road trip. So it was just starting. No, it hadn't started on a road trip yet. No. So I would say 2019 is when I started becoming aware of that, or I had maybe language to put to things that had already been happening for a few years.
May of 2019 is when you told us.
Okay, yeah. Which we've talked about that on the pod before, right? Yeah. And then yeah, so that was kind of a whirlwind, pretty difficult time in my life, honestly. And then moved to Boulder and then made that an official business of sorts. Started this podcast that you see now. And I worked like some odd jobs while I'm here in Boulder, and now I'm kind of in like a more full-time position, coaching volleyball, but then also working as like an administrator for a small company. Ta-da.
And what do you like to do in your spare time?
In my spare time, well, goal number 1 is to get spare time right now, which has been something that I've been struggling with. And in my spare time, oh my gosh, I hang out with my dog, Douglas.
Douglas. Oh, he's so silly.
He's looking at us. I like to hike. I've been to one pottery course I like to do. I like to read. I like to do yoga. I like to exercise. I like to swim. What else I like to do, guys?
That is right.
I like to write. I like to watch TV and movies. I like movie nights. I like to take care of plants.
Mm-hmm.
Love taking care of plants. Yeah.
I think those are good ones.
Great.
I think the list is on your phone, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Is it on yours?
The list of hot seat questions.
Because I have a couple, but I know there was
I have
one.
to cough, but it's not like a cough. It's just I have like,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just still didn't want you to cough on. Okay.
Okay.
Did you have it, Lara?
I have a few, yeah.
Okay.
And this one I think makes sense, but I'm not sure. What would your future self tell you to start right now?
The way that I take this question is like, what would you do right now that you would want your future self to be further along with?
Yes, exactly.
I think in like a boring world, learning a little bit more about taxes, and investments. And I think in like a fun but still exciting world, I think it would be maybe like writing a little bit more. And maybe just like starting the process of not giving a fuck. Yeah.
Because I know for a while you were writing quite a bit. Are you still like compiling
I have
a lot of things?
I have what I had compiled, but I haven't been adding to it, which makes me sad.
Yeah. You'd like to write a book, right?
Eventually, yeah.
And what would the book be about?
It's a secret. Just kidding. The book, like loosely, I mean, is about my life, which sounds like narcissistic, I guess, but basically about how
every single person has written a book about themselves, basically.
True. It's basically about how I just don't really feel supported through like what I went through in like the 2017, 2018, 2019 timeframe that I was just talking about, and being just like a very highly sensitive person who didn't follow a traditional path, who like was looking for support in a lot of places and didn't receive it, and who was learning about themselves in varied ways, and who just kind of like struggled a long time to find places where I felt accepted. And yeah, essentially how it just kind of feels overwhelming sometimes.
Are you going to talk about the spirituality space in it?
Yeah, that's a big part.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
me too.
Next question. How many times have you felt in your life? I'm sorry. How many times have you felt your life was truly in danger?
In danger.
And this can be like, I was seriously, scared for an obvious reason, or it was like, I don't even know why I was so scared, but I was feeling that.
I feel like 5 times, maybe around 5 times.
Do you want to tell us about any of them?
few times when I was really young that I felt that. So I don't think that I think it was probably more than 5 times when I was young.
In what context?
I think I don't know how to explain that without.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there were some unsafe situations that I was in as a child that people around, like the adults around me, shouldn't have put me in, and I was in them.
Yeah.
I think I felt that like one time in high school, and then I think I felt that. Oh, I felt one of the times when I was a kid was when a bear was against my tent, fell on my tent. I was pretty scared then.
A classic fear.
Classic, yeah. Yeah, I think as an adult, it's been kind of few. Honestly, the only times I can think of are around a few men that I've been like pretty nervous about, where I felt like, yeah, I need to get out of the situation quickly. Yeah.
Wait, hold on just a second.
I can't even see them because of the privacy screen.
Can you not see it?
I mean, you don't have to turn it.
I mean, I can't even see it from here.
Okay, well, this is silly. My last two are: do you think you're a better good driver, and do you feel secure with your future?
With my future.
Yeah.
Oh, the good driver question. I think I'm a medium driver.
I think you're a good driver.
I think you're a good driver.
Thank you. I think that there are better drivers than me, but I also think there are worse drivers than me. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I did not like that answer. I think you should just admit that you're a good driver.
Thanks. I'm a good driver.
Hey,
Thank you. Yeah.
Do I feel secure in my future? No. That's pretty much. I feel very I mean, I feel okay. Let's see. When I'm like, okay, 6 years from now, I feel like I'm pretty confident that I'll be okay then.
Yeah.
Right now, do I know what that path looks like? No.
Yeah.
But I feel pretty confident in the fact that I'll figure it out.
What are some things you're interested in doing in your future?
Well, we were just talking about this last night. I think I'm in a space where I'm trying to figure out if I want to, because like I don't really market myself in my business very much right now. It's like all through word of mouth. And I'm trying to figure out like if I want to really like lean into full self-employment, which right now I don't, but I'm in the future if I wanted to start setting up systems for that. I think that I would love to be a little bit more, have a little more freedom in terms of like my work wouldn't require my direct hours. Like, you know, like you don't get, if you show up for 1 hour, you get paid, you know, X amount of money, like move away from that in a little more of a passive income situation, at least to supplement. And then I guess ultimately finding a little more space for like joy and fun and not working 24/7.
Yeah. If you had like a fully free week, try and imagine.
Think about it.
What would you like? What are 3 things you would make sure to do?
In my fully free week?
Yeah.
Turn off my phone. Not reachable.
For a whole week?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Literally no one text.
Yeah.
Or you can text, I won't answer. I think I would want to sleep a lot. I think I would want to be outside a lot. Yeah.
Sleep is so sexy.
So sexy. Yeah.
I agree.
I will die on this hill that I've always supported sleep. Always.
Yeah.
No, I really have.
Have you met Ariana Huffington? She's really into sleep too.
Who's that?
Do you mean Ariana Grande?
Isn't Ariana Huffington like a
She's like
socialite?
Yeah, sort of. It was a joke.
Have you met her?
I've met everyone.
She wrote a whole book about it.
About sleep? Yeah. No, I've said this before on the podcast, but like in high school, everyone was pulling all-nighters, doing all these things, and I refused.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not for me.
I did that.
But you do work better at night.
Yeah, I'm a night owl.
I'm not.
I also feel like there was weird, like it wasn't like my friends in school were pulling all-nighters to do school. It was like my friends in sports were doing that. And I was like, oh, that's like a thing that we do. Yeah. It's like we don't sleep. We just like
We don't sleep.
We don't need it.
We're the best athletes and the best students, and we don't need sleep.
We're neither of those things, and we don't need sleep.
Okay. I think I remember the two we wrote on your phone,
On my phone.
or someone wrote them down.
What are they?
The first one was, when was the last time you've sobbed?
Oh yeah.
Oh. 3
Like, not
days
just
ago
like
to
a-
Mallory on the phone.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And what was it about?
It was because I was so stressed in my life that I had chest pain.
Mhm.
And
I actually think this will be really relatable. I think you should talk a little bit about it.
yes,
If you can.
yeah, sure. So I'm like very well versed in panic attacks. Like have had consistent panic attacks since 2017.
Mhm.
Well, really before that, but like whatever. Anyways, my panic attacks normally feel a certain way. I know what they feel like. And like when I was home the last few weeks and in June, and then when I came home, I was having a lot of chest pain. And I thought that it was chest pain because I was like back in my normal exercise routine. So I was like, oh, my muscles are just sore. And then I was waking up after like 2 nights of like really intense dreams. I would wake up and my chest hurt really bad.
Mhm.
And I was like, when do you know that this is like bad, like something bad's happening? And then if you Google it, you're done for because Google tells you something bad is happening.
Yeah.
And so I was fine for a few hours every morning or in the morning, but I couldn't do much. Like I couldn't do yoga. I could barely like walk around. I was feeling really fatigued. And then I also had COVID like a couple months ago. So I was like, oh, maybe
Long
like,
COVID.
yeah, there's something about COVID happening here because like that had happened to a few of my family members. And basically like what was happening is if I like pushed my chest out, it hurt really bad. And if you were in a push-up position, it hurt really bad.
Mhm.
And I like texted Laura in the morning. I was like, I'm having this chest pain. I don't know what to do. And I was pretty nervous about it. And I was supposed to start work. And then finally I called my mom. And then I started like tearing up a little bit when I talked to my mom because I just started like scaring myself, like, oh, something's really, really wrong.
Mhm.
And then Mallory called me and I just was like, like sobbing. Which obviously like it was primarily emotional. But it had been happening on and off for like a few weeks. And so then that was what made me concerned.
But it is really scary to have chest
Yeah.
pain, even if you know that it's mostly anxiety. Like
Yeah.
it is a scary sensation to feel. And so, yeah, I very much,
Yeah.
empathize with, I've had that feeling for a very long time. And it's like your brain can totally be like, I know this is anxiety, but you're like, why does this hurt? This is not an area of my body that's just supposed to like just hurt.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not my favorite.
Yeah, it was
feeling.
not fun. And it wasn't sharp pain, which I think was a good thing, but it was like kind of if you had like a band across your whole chest. So that was what it felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah, not super enjoyable, but a good reminder that like I think one kind of being home and in my like space again, like there's some things that need to be processed here that I didn't have time for in the past like month or so, that are kind of, I'm just hitting the surface level of processing them. And so I think that was giving me a little bit of a, time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you like fix it? How did it kind of go away?
Crying helped. I took a few deep breaths, took some Advil, took some CBD, ignored it a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
it was the day after I had therapy, which sometimes in therapy is like really good. And it was a good therapy session, but I like talked about a lot of things that were really weighing on me. And so I think when you feel that release, sometimes it can come with anxiety as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay. This was the other one, I think. What is the topic that you avoid talking about most on the
Oh.
podcast,
Yeah.
or that you least would like to talk about?
This is funny because it's like, talk about it.
Yeah, no, that's the whole point.
I remember us saying this question and I forgot about it. So now I feel like I'm really on the spot. I think that I would say I'm like pretty open on the podcast. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you're. No, I think I think sometimes you're a little careful with your words.
Oh, I'm extremely careful with my words.
But I think you're generally vulnerable, but that the way you can convey it can seem like you have a layer of like protection. Like you say a vulnerable thing, but you say it in a very careful way that makes it seem like there's a lot more behind it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm pretty good at like taking the pile of messy and like putting it into a digestible sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually, can I flip this and ask you guys what you think I'm?
Your family.
Yeah, my family. The thing though with that is like there's other people involved. So like when there's other people involved, I'm more aware. Because I'm like, okay, I can't like, okay, this guy and I just broke up. I can't be like, here's his name. Like,
right. Yeah.
that's inappropriate.
Yeah. Well, but also if you're seeing a random person, like we can call like we can talk about him on the podcast and people won't know who he is. But if we talk about your parents or your family, like it's clear who that person is.
Right.
Yeah, but we're saying Ken is good about doing.
Yeah, I'm
the
saying the
other
first
thing.
is easier to do than the second.
The other thing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that sometimes like you're a little bit like closer to your chest about like speaking the actual goals that you have. It's kind of like, I want to get more into this, but it's like it's very hard to say blatantly like I want to be this or I want to do this. Because it feels very big.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like a big dream that you're like, oh, I don't want to say that. And then like have that not happen because this is a permanent place that we're putting our thoughts and feelings.
Have it not happen or change.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I could do better at that.
No, I mean, I think that this podcast is very interesting. And this question is very interesting because there's such a balance between like, our happiness comes first, like our lives come first before this. So like,
and our friendship.
Yeah. And our friendship. A lot of things our other relationships, like they're all before this thing. And we're trying to do this thing as well as we can do it. And sure, it would be pretty interesting to our, viewers if we had zero filter at all.
But here's the thing though, there's no one who has zero filter. I really truly believe.
No, we're all too scared to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying this is a good that's a good excuse to be like,
right.
Well,
I think we also we don't owe our listeners vulnerability. No. We choose to sometimes if we feel like it's important and we want to share it. But you talking about your family, we don't have to do that.
Yeah.
No.
I think that also sometimes the way that our system is set up in terms of monthly themes sometimes makes it more difficult to share vulnerable parts when we're trying to fit within that theme.
Yeah.
Where I think that there are times where there's a recent breakup or there's a recent discovery about yourself that I would share it on the podcast, but I think it takes deliberate action to put it out. And I don't know if there's always the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I think that we've definitely had some themes that felt really vulnerable to me, and then other themes where we kind of just got to coast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely what theme do you feel was the hardest for you, vulnerability wise?
I don't even remember.
I don't want to be
I don't remember our themes. I don't feel like there's been a single theme that I was like, oh,
what podcast have you been most nervous to record?
Probably Maudie's first podcast. I never really get nervous recording podcasts.
I feel like I sometimes get a little nervous when we start doing intros and bios. I feel like once the first question's going, I feel okay, we're grooving and moving. But sometimes I'm
like with guests.
Yeah, with guests just sitting there as we try and get their bios out.
Because if you if you had a podcast that starts it's not fun to listen to.
Feel it,
yeah.
I think Allie Riley was the most nerve-wracking.
Is this your hot seat?
No. You just said yours.
I did not say mine.
Well, Okay. Sorry.
No, my hot seat is everyone's hot
No,
seat.
Mal, it's okay, but I want to ask the same question.
Okay,
in
okay, okay,
yours.
okay. Okay, should I go to my questions? Those
Yeah.
are just our group questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are McKenna
These
specific.
are like, I'm not
Well,
gonna lie, like
I
a
think I'm
little
gonna
bit.
ask all of these because they're so good. I think I'm gonna ask them to both of you.
Okay. But that just so you know, this is the most hot seat because McKenna is hearing all these for the
Okay,
first
I was
time.
gonna say because so far it's been like pretty easy.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
McKenna,
It takes like I feel like
get ready
for me to
'cause
be
those
vulnerable.
were the fake questions. Mallory, hit it.
Okay.
Laura used her
what would
stern
be
voice.
what would be the most vulnerable thing for you to post on Instagram?
Wait, repeat. Vulnerable.
Yeah, what would be the most vulnerable thing for you to post on Instagram?
I shouldn't have talked shit. Well, that's like what are you feeling most vulnerable about right now, right? I mean,
Well, but thinking about like
That's
putting it
posting
out
on
to putting it out to, because it's different than you just talking to us about things you're vulnerable about. It's that
right.
like you have to post a photo of something on Instagram.
Ooh, and a caption.
My tummy feels weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like the only things I would feel vulnerable about talking about has been like recent shifts in my life. I don't think I would feel vulnerable talking about anything else.
Well, we're not talking. I'm talking about an image. Like,
Oh, maybe
thinking
me
of-
naked.
Okay, but something that Instagram would not take down.
I feel pretty like fine. Like, are we talking image only or caption too?
Both.
Sharing news or sharing an image?
I kind of feel like you share vulnerable things in words, but I'm thinking image for
yeah.
you.
Oh,
Good point. Good
image?
point.
Yeah.
I don't have any. I really don't have anything.
But that's why you think
Yeah.
about it.
You gotta take a thinker.
I really am. I think I would post myself in. I would post. Well, okay. So here's
It
the
doesn't
thing.
have to be you. It could be of something else. I'm just saying.
Really, Mal? What would it be of?
This is a question for you, not for me. I don't want to give you ideas.
I think with me, I'd feel pretty comfortable posting. Maybe like an unflattering picture of me would be hard for me to post.
Okay.
Like, because I think that if you took like tasteful naked photos, like obviously, yeah, that wouldn't be taken down. I would post this in a second.
But okay,
Oh,
thinking
hell
back
yeah.
to like, you know,
Like my strap just fell.
like
fell
a,
down.
like a diary entry.
Stop.
It's getting really feisty.
A diary entry.
I'm thinking of something, you know, like you're writing.
You're thinking of some things.
Well, I feel like you've been kind of nervous in the past posting your poetry online,
Mhm.
like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think I feel pretty like about writing that's pretty vulnerable to my emotions. I still think and don't necessarily like, not that they paint me in a bad light or paint other people in a bad light, but I think that they're the truest form of feeling that I have that feels like there's no way to cushion that blow when you just say, this is how I'm feeling about something. Especially when you don't really know how you still feel about that thing. I think that is pretty tricky for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like that sort of writing.
Okay, the edgiest tattoo that you would get.
Ooh.
I mean, I have a tattoo on my rib cage that I want to add to.
That is not the
I know, so I think I would add to that. Like that's an edgy tattoo, like to go in, like under my boob.
But like
bit.
that's something you would actually get like right now.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like, whoa.
like
maybe like, these are hard because I feel like I'm not taking into consideration things I wouldn't do. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. What do you mean?
Like
You
I wouldn't. I probably would never get a neck tattoo, but that's pretty edgy,
Oh yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
I
that's true.
would get tattoos on my arms or my ribs or.
okay, so what are some tattoo like images that you've thought about?
I think I really want a snake.
That's
hell
edgy.
yeah.
What kind of snake?
And where would it go?
I don't know. I think I want to add it to this.
Mhm.
Actually, before snake, I think I'd do like a naked woman.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
like stick, like whatever that's called.
Line drawing.
Line.
It's pretty edgy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, but like I can see
Yeah,
how
like
people
the
would think it was edgy.
the silhouette of like a
Yeah.
naked woman. Yeah, I would get.
Okay.
Maybe of myself.
Maybe it's
just your face on your body.
No,
No.
it's Makena's body.
My
on her
body on my body.
Good golly.
Okay, I feel like this is relevant. Sexiest place you feel in your house or apartment, and then the time you felt the sexiest.
Oh. Sexiest
Ooh.
place you feel in your apartment.
My bed, like I don't. Our house isn't like a sexy home.
Our house
like,
is not sexy. It's homey. It's
homey.
super homey.
wholesome even.
You have to think about it.
I would say my bed because
Okay.
I have like some like cool lighting in my
yeah.
room.
Sexy lighting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like we both have pretty sexy lighting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely my room and my bed. What's the other question? Where
Time you
the
felt the
most?
sexiest.
In your life.
In my entire life?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. I mean, it's been quite a few times.
Quite a few.
Kind of
Well, let's hear about one of them.
Is this like a little R-rated? Should I share?
Do it. But like whisper.
Oh my god. Jane's gonna hear me.
Yeah.
Jean also listens to the podcast, so I want to be clear. She'll listen
Okay,
to
one
it.
time I was dating this person and we
We all got closer.
we were like in his bedroom and
In his bedroom.
Keep going. Keep going.
yeah, and like I had a cute outfit on, like wink wink, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't.
Lingerie.
And- yeah.
Okay.
And it was lingerie that we had gotten on a trip together,
Okay.
which
Oh,
I
yeah.
had gotten. I want to be clear, like I had gotten it for me, and then this person happened to
Like it.
not even
Randomly
like
be
it.
there.
Not yeah, like no. I just happened to have been
Mm.
casually seeing this person at the time,
Mhm.
and there was like actually not at his house; it was at his parents' house, and there was
It's way different.
So much sexier.
I actually don't think that this is like sexy and like for in real life. Like I don't think that this is a cool thing at all. But like, you know, closet doors that have like mirrors on them.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. Just kidding. Basically, I had a mirror on it and I'm
So okay, I feel like you stopped
Basically,
right at the part.
basically, you know, like you could see it. You could see us.
Okay. The reflection.
The reflection of us.
And were you on the bed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you just looking at yourself?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
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 Okay. So sort of like the whole like
Mirror.
roof mirror thing, like ceiling mirror.
Oh yeah.
But like
Yeah.
to the side.
Yeah, but to the side was way better.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been multiple times with like partners that I felt really good, but I want to think of a time I was not with a partner that I felt really good.
Yeah.
I think like sometimes I like take pictures or something. I think I feel good then.
What kind of pictures?
Oh yeah, I have a job. I can't. Just kidding.
You told us to ask you spicy questions and now you're mad
Listen,
about
spicy
it.
questions is different than vulnerable questions.
I feel like we agreed on vulnerable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Vulnerable is vulnerable. Spicy is spicy. Anyways, let me know if you'd subscribe to something.
Literally, don't let us know.
What you're saying is sexy photos.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Good. Okay. Okay. Time you felt the most pressured in high school.
Whoa.
I told you these are great questions.
Mallory, your brain.
In high school,
Specifically in high school.
I think there's some like sexual situations in high school I felt pretty pressured about. I think that there's I think that Davis High, we've talked about it before, was like a pretty academically, you know, intense environment to go to high school. So I think that there was times that I felt that. But generally, like, school didn't overwhelm me too much, I don't think.
Do you ever feel like pressured to drink?
No. Well,
She'll be doing that on her own accord.
okay. Sometimes though, like, so I did drink in high school.
Don't call the police.
There's a statue. Yeah.
Statute of limitations.
Yeah. I think that there were times that I also was like smoking weed. And I think as I went into my senior year of high school, I primarily chose that.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes my friend group was like, you're boring. So I think that there was times like that.
For smoking weed.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Well, don't you remember that?
Yes, but it's so silly.
Like there was a lot of times where everyone was wanting me to drink.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I do remember that.
Yeah. Which is fine. I didn't feel pressure to drink. Because I eventually, like, I mean, every once in a while I would, but I just didn't do it as much, I think, as other people wanted me to.
Yeah. Which now I think it's so like, who would ever care what you do?
Yeah, sometimes it turned into kind of a thing of like, are you having fun? Like, I'm having fun. I've stopped doing that now. That's right. Like, yeah, like they were feeling good and they wanted me to feel good, but like
Yeah.
I was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, at the time, like I was dating someone, so I think it was like a different vibe a little bit. I wasn't
Mhm.
trying to like hook up with people.
Yeah.
It was just different.
Okay, these
Yeah.
next 4 questions are
Pouring
all one or a few word responses.
Oh,
So I
okay.
actually don't really need an explanation for them unless you would like to give it.
Is that because I give too many explanations?
No, I think it will have more impact if you just give a short answer.
Okay.
Okay. The first one is, you know, in Harry Potter, how all of the houses are like loyal to a fault, ambitious to a fault,
Erudite.
no, that's divergent. Wait.
No. Is it?
Intelligent
yeah.
to a fault and brave to a fault.
Mhm.
So what would your blank to a fault be?
Again, I feel like these are questions for you guys, not for me. You
No,
know?
I want to hear what you think.
Careful.
Okay.
Careful to a fault.
Cool. If you had to live in the body of another person for a day, whose body would you choose?
I don't have a specific person for this, but I would choose a man.
Okay. Why?
Because I want to know what it's like to have a dick for one day.
Yeah.
You know, like I just do.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I feel similarly. We'll just pick a man.
Any man?
I mean, like, who you think you would want to, like, either you want their life for like a day or you want to look like them.
I feel
for
like
a
I want
day.
anyone's life for a day.
That's good.
I definitely want someone's life for a day.
Do you?
That'd be fun.
I don't know. I don't have a further answer.
What person do you think about the most? It doesn't have to be like it can be like truly, who do you think about the most outside of yourself and Douglas?
Probably you guys. I think if I was in a relationship, probably be that person.
Mm-hmm.
So like out of both, like out of the two,
I think about myself a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
okay. And this is your last question from me, at least. Is there a person who you don't talk to regularly that you wish you had a better relationship with?
Damn, no.
I think that there are people that I don't talk to regularly that I wish I had a different relationship with. I don't think that there's anyone. Ooh. What was the question?
Is there a person who you don't talk to regularly that you wish you had a better relationship with?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think we can wrap up.
Okay. Do you have anything for me?
I wanna find one like last like really good juicy juicer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that, can I have the floor for a moment?
This is your hot seat, so you may.
Granted.
I think that, oh, I'm like a little buzzy, you guys.
Wow.
Well, I think that in the past three weeks, we'll say, do we feel like that's when my things have been happening? Last 3 weeks, I feel like I am very much in like a stage of curiosity about myself and rediscovery about myself, and it feels in the moment, like right now, it feels very destabilizing because I can have like these pillars of things that I'm interested in, but there's one, I need to take action on them. Two, sometimes I don't know yet what that action is. And three, I don't necessarily have the time or resources right now to figure that out immediately. Like I think I can start that process. And then I also think there are things in my personal life, like away from career, that are kind of just like always in the back of my head that I'm really trying to work through in the moment of like how I feel about them, if I want to talk about them, if it's worth talking about them, if I like how I'm navigating those changes. Feels good internally, I guess. But then there are some situations that don't feel as good, that feel pretty stressful, and feel very, very, very vulnerable to talk about. So I think that there's, a few things there that kind of in the past 3 weeks, like literally felt like my world turned upside down in a way of like, have you considered this? Like, think about it. Or like this situation that's been going on, like internally for a while, like I kind of have to make some decisions about whether or not or how I want to like pursue an answer for those situations. And I think that's been a little like scary for me. So
is there any of that you want to get more specific about? I'm just curious. It was great. It was just really big. And so I feel like the listeners would hear that and be like, cool, but like, what do you mean? You don't have to say it specifically, but I'm just like, is there any part of that you would?
I think that there's one. So I think there's three things happening. I think one, it's a uncertainty about how I want to engage with my career, and like a deep longing for a certain type of career and a fear of stepping into that type of career.
Which is what?
Which is like, I see that's why it's hard to explain. I don't totally know. Like, I think it's really working intimately in like the spiritual space, redefining what that means for people, allowing like compassionate, like, I don't know, compassionate and what's the word I'm looking for here? Not morality, but like, what's the other word? Ethical kind of care in that space and resources in that space. And there's a lot of certifications that I want to explore, education that I want to explore, not necessarily traditional, but like I would love to be like IFS certified. I would love to get LIT certified.
What is IFS?
Internal Family Systems. I would love to go through somatic training, just not to like change the way that I work, but to add to what I can do, and give myself a little bit more resources. I think it's a little tricky not being like trauma certified. There's like a lot of readings I do that involve like some really scary things that I feel like I need to be a little bit more prepared to handle. So there's like those career things, really being open about my desire to write, really being open about my desire to share. But I like police myself so heavily that it stops me from doing pretty much everything. And it's like now this like push pull has gotten to like a breaking point where I feel like I kind of have to let one side win, and I'm not really willing to let the old side win. So it's basically figuring out like what tangible next steps look like for that. The second thing is that I think that there's some things happening. Well, second and third kind of bleed into this. Things happening in terms of like, my heart's beating really fast in terms of my like romantic relationships, because I feel pretty like career feels destabilizing at times, but I feel like I'm on a path at least, you know? And then I think with like friendships, I feel pretty solid. With like myself and my growth, I feel pretty solid. I think with the career stuff, there's some money stuff that comes into there, like the desire to make more money, which like has some limiting beliefs. And then I think with romantic relationships, there's like one situation that I feel a little confused about regarding like another person. And I'm not really sure why I feel that way. And so I think that this has like kind of been happening for a long, long time. And I need to figure out how I feel about it. And then like accept how I feel about it, which I think is the harder part to do. And then based on that acceptance, decide if I am going to like take action on that or if I'm not going to take action on that. And then the third thing regarding romantic relationships is like really just taking stock of old identities I might have thought were true to myself and really realizing that they might not be like the one most accurate. And that I had put myself in a lot of boxes before. That I guess just smiling at each other. That I don't really feel like are in full alignment anymore. But I don't feel like prepared to just like this is my label or like this is what I'm thinking or this is what I'm feeling. It feels like very much in like a discovery phase with that situation. Nothing's bad. I mean, like I don't think it's bad to say that. Like yeah. Did I do an okay job with that?
That was good.
Okay.
That was really good.
Is there anything else that you would like the listeners to know about you? Like going into the future of listening to the podcast?
What do you guys think?
I think that I think that you're really funny. And I don't feel like people know that.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think that's true.
It's hard to like,
Yeah, I think that like my personality on the podcast or on social media is very like curated in a way.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm trying to get away from. And even when I'm being vulnerable, it's still pretty curated. Even just now, like what I shared, like pretty curated. Like I was very careful with my words, but like you can figure it out. Like think about it a little bit. Like what might be different?
Use your brain.
What identity?
Yeah. What do you think I put myself in a box with? Yeah, I mean, you could figure out probably the person I was talking about too, that I don't know. So I think that there's like a lot of things that I'm fairly tiptoeing around because I feel like very scared to be like, hey, this is me.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not a person that's like, hey, this is me, take it or leave it.
It's like, is
Please
this
take
okay?
it. Yeah.
Is this okay for me to be?
Yeah.
Please take it.
Yeah. So really, I've gotten better, I think.
Oh yeah.
But I think that I'm still really like practicing what that feels like.
I agree.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
I think that was great.
That was really good.
All right. Well, you should close since this is your re-intro.
Yeah. How are you feeling post honesty?
Yeah.
Hot seat.
I feel fine. The only part that felt a little scary is that last part, and I was still like extremely vague.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah,
We'll work
we'll
on
get there.
it. I'll keep pushing you a little bit.
Yeah. I think I just need to do it. Like, just do it.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Well, do you want to say it right now?
I mean, who the fuck cares about? Like,
I mean,
no. Okay.
like,
Here's the thing,
truly.
though. Like, here's the thing with like vulnerability. It's like, okay, I'm so scared I'm gonna say something wrong, but like, literally, who cares?
Also,
Like,
it's also your life, so you can't
nobody-
say anything wrong.
yeah, but I think I'm scared of like, oh, someone's gonna be like, this episode you said this, and like in 5 years if I don't feel that way, or in 6 months if I don't feel that way, I'm scared that I have already said it. I've already said
what
it.
you feel right now.
I know, but like if you haven't, I don't extend compassion to myself like I extend compassion to other people, which I think most people don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like in general with like in your like wants in life, like I think the primary thing that I've realized recently is like life is just way too short. And especially when Mal and Lara and I are in the same place, I get the same feeling all of the time, like we're together, and it's really overwhelming in a good way, but also in like a kick your butt way.
Yeah.
Of like, you have these beautiful friendships and you have this beautiful life to explore. Why the fuck are you hiding? Like, why are you always hiding? Why have you hidden forever? Why, if you want that person, say it. Like, if you are interested in that, like, say it. Like, if you want to, like, if you're interested in not just men, say it. Like, say it, y'all.
Say it.
Like, well, now you guys are making fun of me.
No,
No,
I'm
I'm saying
not.
to say it.
It just feels very like life is way too short to like tiptoe around your wants or needs, or like if I want to move to a cabin in fucking Montana, like let's make it happen. Like if you want a dog, get a fucking dog. Like if you want to explore,
It's turning into a rap because I really like it.
Kind of. It's just like I think there's so much like pent up like
If you want to eat pussy, eat pussy.
exactly. This is what I'm saying.
Is that the name of this pod?
Yeah. So
With Makena Sherwood.
yeah, I don't know. I think in the next like month, I'm really gonna challenge myself to be like, because there's no reason, like, okay, this person that I was referencing to been in my brain for years and years. Why am I like, let's just fucking make a decision. Like, let's just explore it. Let's
Should we
actually
call them on the podcast.
let's
right now?
let's let yourself feel it all. That's a really hard no for me.
Yeah.
But like, let's let yourself actually feel like the desire for whatever it is you're desiring. And then you can determine later, like if that desire wasn't actually in alignment with what you wanted, or if it was just maybe a fleeting desire or an old wound that you really wanted to like repair or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is a great mission for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I just need a way to like continue like
Yeah.
plugging away at that.
Yeah.
Which I've done baby steps, you know. Baby
Today was
steps.
a baby step.
Today was a baby step.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not talking about a lot of it with a lot of people because I gotta really think about it in this spring. Yeah. I'm pulling a Lara.
What
where
does
I'm
that
just
mean?
Oh, where you're
yeah.
sucking within
Yeah.
back in yourself.
yeah. Yeah. But it's good. Do you guys have any takeaways?
No, I'm excited to I'm excited for that to happen.
The title of this episode, you mean, to happen? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool beans.
Cool beans, y'all. Cool beans.
That's a wrap.
Okay.
Let's
all right.
shut this shit off.
Thank you so much for listening to our first podcast about hot seat.
Our first podcast about a hot seat.
Yeah, it's a podcast about our hot seaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
McKenna has the hottest seater, so she went first. Obviously, please stay tuned for the
Who's
rest
going
of
second,
our.
Laura?
Please stay tuned. Please subscribe. Please rate, review. We love you. Have a great week.
It's also on YouTube now.
Yeah. Find us on YouTube for our beautiful faces. Okay, love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, man.
So good.